I was just having my cup of tea and I noticed some of the keywords which stand for Scorpio, but interestingly, they seem pronounced this month, the month of August 2022 for you, especially when we look at this dynamic presence of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in your seventh house of principal relationships. A lot churning there, a lot going on for you. And for some of you, I dare say, it's not particularly easy. Have a look here. We've got this retrograde Saturn moving back into the square of what's going on here with Mars, Uranus, and this node. The node amplifies the electric, dynamic, sudden and abrupt shifts in energy shown by Uranus and Mars. And so this month is particularly potent and brings to your attention these matters, whether you like it or not, whether you're ready for it or not. Now, I've noticed here on the 2nd, the exact conjunction of Mars and Uranus. I would say you're feeling some of the energies of this already, but as the conjunction gets closer and closer, especially you see Uranus and the node are already in an exact conjunction, then this is going to be an amalgamation of these three forces and in an amplified way. A lot of passion here, especially in the sensual sign of Taurus, which is your seventh house. And then Mercury makes a move into Virgo, your 11th house here. This is going to be important for you this month as well. The house of friendship, the house of networking, the house of fulfillment of desires is a pretty strong one this month because Mercury actually rules Virgo, which is the dominant ruler of your fulfillment. So when you've got all of this stuff going on in your 7th house, it could be that some of you, if you're not yet in love, are going to find someone to love. We see you've been very idealistic about this with Neptune retrograde, empowered in your 5th house of love affairs. And then the full moon on the 12th, there in the sign of Aquarius. Now that's nice because the 4th house, which has been a little bit sullied by this retrograde Saturn for some time and will continue to have the retrogression impacting it till around October, defines your inner happiness, Scorpio. It's not just your mother, your domestic sphere, your real estate, your property. All of those areas are definitely under the jurisdiction of this 4th house. But the 4th house has to do with your peace of mind. We've discussed this before. And the full moon here on the 12th, especially as Venus transits into the 10th house on the same date, indicates a powerful play of energy here in your career and your domestic sphere, but in particular a push towards that inner happiness. Home is where the heart is, and all of this relationship stuff, friendship stuff, fulfillment of dreams, the 4th house of inner contentment, I think is a really, really nice combo. Those 3 houses, notwithstanding the dynamic play of these 3 planets I mentioned at the outset. But I'm going to take some astrological license there and say that because Mars is one of your ruling planets, it's not going to harm you too much. Full moon is great. Venus in the 10th brings a renewed sort of happiness and joy to the work that you're doing. That's awesome because you've probably felt a little stressed. Notice here the Sun moving into the opposition of Saturn. That brings with it more responsibility. You're probably going to have a heavy workload over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But Venus brings a bit of enjoyment to that, so you are able to tolerate whatever life and karma dishes out at this time. On the 20th, we notice the transit of your ruler, Mars, into this 8th house. Very sexy part of the zodiac. It's the natural house of Scorpio, the 8th house, although it's in Gemini. And that gives you some excitement in the arena of sexuality, intimacy, sensuality. It also gives you a more, I suppose, committed approach to figuring out that inner part of your being, You notice here we mentioned the full moon in the 4th house, air sign of Aquarius. Mars is going to move into this 8th house, the air sign of Gemini. So there's going to be some positive constructive work over the coming weeks shown by the position of Saturn. Mars is going to move into that trine aspect later, not immediately. That may come in your next month's reading. But certainly a growing stability in that area where your happiness can be anchored a little more, where you can feel more contented in your shared resources and sharing of intimacy with someone important. The Sun's transit to Virgo, again, that's going to enhance this really nice transit of Mercury in the 11th house. A more sociable time for you at this time. A feeling that you're achieving what you've set out to do. And then the final new moon also in that area. So this could be the start of some new friendships for you, where you're letting go of the old, bringing in the new, cleaning out the old skeletons in the cupboard, and dynamically reaching out to others and injecting some new life into your social activities. It sounds great. I'm glad I'm a Scorpio. I'm in for that. Pop it over to astrology.com.au. We've got more there for you. The daily, weekly, monthly, yearly readings. Working on those all the time. Can help give you a bit more insight underpinning what I've said here today. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a note if you want. By all means, book me for a reading. I'd love to sit down with you like this face to face and go through your chart in a detailed fashion to see exactly what you need to do to empower yourself in the coming months and years. I'll see you next month, Scorpio. Take care now. Bye.